Hello, Year 2 students. Welcome back to remote learning through TTC radio lessons. My name, as usual, is Teacher Emma. I am going to be taking you through this lesson. Good. You are still continuing to stay home. Please always adhere to the guidelines that have been given. My dear friends, to support continued learning, Rwanda Education Board is partnering with UNICEF and other partners to support remote learning for all levels of education, including TTC. Ensure that, as usual, your environment is free from disruptions and noise. Have your notebook and pen ready. Today we have an interesting lesson that we are going to learn together, and this is something that is very, very important to us as aspiring teachers, but also even teachers. My dear friends, we are today discussing what we call positive discipline. We want to go deep and really have a big understanding in as far as the concept of positive discipline is concerned. So in doing this, the objectives of these lessons, I would say, we should be able to define key concepts related to positive discipline. We should also be able to explain discipline versus punishment. And again, we should be able to justify the need for positive discipline in the classroom. Are we together, my friends? Good. So, as usual, I want to take this opportunity to call upon our dear students in other classes, especially Year 3, and because I know you always do school practice and you always meet discipline issues, please let us learn together in this lesson. And again, as usual, I want to remind my fellow tutors to join us in this lesson and always support our students in your various teacher training colleges, answer questions that they have in relation to the lessons that we have. So, as I did mention, remember, in our previous lessons, looking at psychology, we looked at even domains, developmental domains, and we saw how psychology contributes to giving us a broad overview in terms of knowing, first of all, the development processes that sometimes contribute to the behaviors we get to see in our classrooms. Now, let us start our lesson by reminding ourselves of the definitions of psychology. We said that psychology is a systematic scientific study of behavior and mental processes in relation to their environment. It's the scientific study of human mind and its functions, especially those affecting behavior in a given context. So, now we know that people's actions are as a result of how they think, what they think, and how their thinking translates into action in their environments. And naturally, we all agree that human interactions are based on a reward system where positive behavior is positively rewarded and negative behavior is negatively rewarded. My friends, Dr. Jen Nelson defines positive discipline as a program that teaches important social and life skills in a manner that is respectful to both the adults and the children in the situation. Raising young people to be responsible, respectful, and resourceful members of their communities. We agree with Dr. Jane that the idea of discipline being synonymous with punishment is ingrained in our psyche. What do we mean here? The first thing we think of when we hear the word discipline is usually something negative. Do you agree with me? In this lesson, we are going to see how discipline is different from punishment, or how disciplining is different from punishing. Are we together, my friends? Very good. As we start our lesson, I want you to think about the following scenarios. A. Keza and Chusa are in P4A, or in primary 4A. On an examination day, they arrive 30 minutes late to school for their afternoon session. For fear of punishment, they stay outside the classroom. When Teacher Muson sees them, he calls them to come closer. He asks them why they are late, where they explain that on their way to school, they realized that they had forgotten their pens and went back home to correct them. After hearing their explanation, Teacher Muson allows them to enter the classroom and do the examination. After an hour, all students submit their examination scripts except Keza and Chusa, because Teacher Muson gives them additional 30 minutes to complete their examination. Scenario B. I want you to remember the first scenario of Muson and Keza and Chusa. Remember, the teacher is called Teacher Muson and the children are Keza and Chusa. Now let us hear scenario B. In P4B, two pupils arrive 5 minutes late to the examination room. Without asking reasons why they are late, their teacher refuses them to do the examination, saying they are too late. She chases them away and gives them 0 out of 50 marks for the examination. Are we together, my friends? Okay. I want you to think about these two scenarios. How do you feel? Which scenario do you think has been handled appropriately? Of course, scenario A. Of all human interactions, dealing with children is the most challenging, because as adults, we need to be very tolerant and understanding so as to be able to deal with and help children through their human development journey. So, I think you feel why Muson handled that case that way. Would you do the same? Or you would be like teacher in scenario B? It is always very important, my dear friends, always to listen to the children. And this is what positive discipline is all about. Positive discipline is a non-violent approach to dealing with actions of children, understanding them and helping them to grow and learn effectively. If children know that you're a good listener, you'll always be their friend and you'll always be respected for that. When children do something wrong, instead of punishing them, teachers or parents should teach children and guide them to set the behavior right. Are we together, my friends? So, positive discipline, remember, we said, is non-violent and is respectful of the child. It is an attempt to teaching that helps children succeed. It gives them information and supports their growth and their learning. Positive discipline is based on children's rights to healthy development, protection from violence, and participation in their learning environment. Positive discipline is a tool for parents, caregivers, members of our communities to use to assist them in managing children's behavior without abusing them emotionally, physically, socially, mentally, or spiritually. Now, how do you think positive discipline is different from punishment? We have defined positive discipline as a non-violent way of dealing with children's behavior. Punishment, on the other hand, is an action or penalty that is imposed on a child or students for misbehaving or breaking a rule. Have you ever been punished? Yes, I have ever. And has someone who offered the punishment, did they give you time to listen to what you went through? Now, this is something that is calling us or reminding us as teachers always to pay attention and listen. What was the cause of the behavior that we are dealing with? Because that helps us to know the root cause. Are we together, my friends? Let us look at major differences between positive discipline and punishment. Are we together, my friends? I am going to be reading elements or aspects within the positive discipline, and also I'll be reading what happens in opposite in as far as punishment is concerned. Good. Are we together? Very nice. Okay, so before we go very far, my friends, I have an energizer for you. Are you ready? Yes. And remember, I took you through this in some of our earlier lessons. And it's just a rhyme. And it's a rhyme about a fruit that I love. And you know that? It's the mango. And our rhyme says, shake, shake the mango tree. Are you ready? Very good. Okay. And as usual, you remember, when we recite this rhyme, we always stand up. So, can we all stand up? And I want you to hold your waist. Okay? Let me remind you, if you don't remember, it says, shake, shake the mango tree, shake, shake the mango tree, mango yellow, mango green, one for you and one for me, shake, shake the mango tree. Are you ready? Okay, so there we go. Shake, shake the mango tree, shake, shake the mango tree, mango yellow, mango green, one for you and one for me, shake, shake the mango tree. Did you shake your mangoes? Did they fall down like mine? Perfect. Let me tell you, my friends, always, always, you must have a toolbox. And in your toolbox as a teacher, you need to have songs, rhymes, poems, and so many other energizing activities that help children to come back and concentrate in your lesson. And remember, work without play makes who? Makes John a dull boy. Are we together, my friends? Okay. Now, I want us to go back and look at the aspects that we were discussing before the short break, which was to do with the positive discipline versus punishment. Are we together, my friends? So, I am going to be reading this for you. Giving children positive alternatives. The opposite of this on the punishment column is being told only what to do. Now, what does that mean, my dear friends? Teachers to be always create a variety of alternatives for children. Are we together, my dear? Do not limit children's thinking and say, don't tell them what to do. Challenge them what they think they can be able to do in a variety of ways. Are we together, my friends? Yes. 2 times 2 is equal to 4. But again, a child can decide to do 1 plus 1 plus 1 plus 1 plus 1. That makes 4. Or 2 plus 2. Still, you get 4. So there are so many ways. So we need always to help children realize that there are very many ways they can be able to work out situations within their lives. So the second one is, which is from the positive column or positive discipline, acknowledging or rewarding efforts and good behavior and positively correcting misbehavior. What do I mean here? This is very important, my friends. Even here, when I'm teaching you on radio, you always hear me saying, good, very nice, wonderful. It is very beautiful always to reward our learners. And sometimes, as teachers, we make mistakes. What do I mean here? When it comes to rewarding, you find you are only rewarding those who get it correct. That is wrong. Because even someone who has put in an effort, but they've not gotten the right answer, we need to appreciate them. How? I can say, thank you so much for trying, my friend, and I want you to keep trying until we get the right answer. Are we together, friends? So, on the punishment side now, reacting harshly to misbehavior with no acknowledgement of efforts. My dear friends, sometimes when a child makes a mistake, what are we supposed to do? The only thing we're supposed to do is to encourage them to keep trying, to keep thinking. But sometimes teachers discourage that. They say 2 plus 2 is 5. That's wrong. Keep quiet. That is not the best thing to do. Because the best thing to do would be to say, my friend, that's a good trial. I want you to keep trying. That's not the right answer. Can we try again? Think. That will motivate them to think further. The second one, or the third one is, from the positive discipline, children following rules because they are discussed, understood, and agreed upon. But from the punishment side, children following rules without understanding why, because they are threatened or they've been forced to do it. Let me give you an example. As a teacher, when I'm going to be teaching a class, or when I'm new and it's a new term, normally you are supposed to be setting up classroom rules. But what mistake do teachers do? They sit down and write and make a list of rules and put them up in the classroom. That's a big mistake. and you always have issues in your classroom. So the best way is, first of all, to sit with your children and set classroom expectations. So within this term, as children, this is what we should, or maybe ask them. What is it that we want our classroom to look like in this term? Let them contribute. Give them the opportunity to contribute to what they think is going to make their classroom a very conducive area or a place to learn from. So it's very important. And the moment they contribute to the setting up of classroom rules, automatically, because they understand why and they've contributed to that, they will respect that. And you won't have issues in the classroom. Are we together, my friends? So another one is physically and verbally non-violent. That's discipline. Positive discipline enforces the physical and verbally non-violent ways of solving issues. Whereas from the punishment side, it's physically and verbally violent and aggressive. And what does that do? It creates fear within children. And that affects their learning. Another one is positive discipline. Again, it follows logical consequences that are directly related to the behavior. Whereas in punishment, consequences that are unrelated and illogical to the behavior or the misbehavior. Once we identify a challenge or a discipline issue, through positive discipline, we discuss that with the children. And they get to understand, or even sometimes they feel remorse of what they've done wrong. But the moment we award punishment straight away, we might even not punish the right misbehavior that occurred. Now, another way or another aspect of positive discipline is that children are shown how to correct mistakes or make amends when their behavior negatively affects someone else. When children are punished for hurting others rather than being shown how to correct mistakes or make amends. Now, if a mistake happens, before we punish, the best thing is to help a child be able to know, how do we correct this? Or that was not the appropriate language to use, my dear friend. This is, how else would you have said that? That helps them to realize that they didn't use the appropriate language. Understanding individual abilities, needs, circumstances, and developmental stages. Now, inappropriate to child's developmental stages of life, individual circumstances, abilities, and needs are not taken into consideration. The moment we understand, in as far as positive discipline is concerned, as teachers, we must endeavor to understand individual abilities, needs, and circumstances that our children undergo through the process of development. Now, my friends, I want us to think, why is this important? Or why is this aspect of positive discipline to teachers? Why is it important? So the purpose of positive discipline is to teach in such a way that children can develop their inner guidance system so that they can function responsibly by themselves. Because adults will not always be around them to tell them what to do. So we must instill inner discipline and help children develop the ability to think, judge, and make decisions on their own. Are we together, my friends? Very good. Children need to learn self-discipline with the little issues, so they have the experience and the confidence to deal with larger issues. This process takes time, but the end product is worth of investment. Are we together, my friends? Self-discipline is very important. Using positive discipline techniques help teachers and parents to overcome the many challenges in the classroom, but also at home. And this will help students learn and make better choices in the future. In fact, using positive discipline in the classroom or even at home, it not only increases academic success in the classroom, but also provides many other benefits. Because remember, we want to prepare lifelong learners. Let us talk about benefits of positive discipline to children or learners. Positive discipline helps children feel a sense of connection, belonging, and significance. Positive discipline is mutually respectful and encouraging. Positive discipline is effective and long-term. Consider what the child is thinking, feeling, and learning. Positive discipline teaches important social and life skills, respect, concern for others, problem solving, cooperation, as well as skills to contribute to the home. Positive discipline invites children to discover how capable they are. It encourages the constructive use of personal power and autonomy. My dear friends, to conclude our lesson, let us focus on the standing points. We have understood positive discipline as a non-violent way of dealing with children's misbehavior. We have also understood that punishment is counterproductive and may produce undesirable behavior. We have also discussed benefits of positive discipline to the teachers. So, students, let us end with immediate and observable benefits of positive discipline that favor the teacher. So in a positive discipline class, students will show respect for the teacher and one another. Students are on task and are engaged. Less disciplinary measures are needed. Fewer suspensions and expulsions. Students see rules as fair. Attendance improves. And also participation improves. And many more other benefits, major of which is achievement of learning outcomes. So, next time you are dealing with children, my dear friends, ensure to use positive discipline as a reaction to their misbehavior. Let me repeat this. Ensure always to use positive discipline as a reaction to their misbehavior. Thank you so much for your participation. This lesson has been developed by Rwanda Education Board in collaboration with UNICEF, Help a Child, Right to Play, IE Rwanda. Until next time, goodbye.